All right, Javier Molina. Come to the stage, please. Javier Molina, give him a round of applause, guys. Who's coming? Let's go. Are you going to diddy bop on the stage a little bit? I saw that little, I saw it. What's up? Good job. All right, brother. Okay, how are you? I'm well. Okay, what's your name?
Delissa Reynolds.
Thank you. All right, I don't know how we're going to do this. Okay, we can stand. Here you go.
No, you sit. Sit.
Ladies, sit down.
Thank you. Lovely gentlemen.
Okay, so we'll unpack a little bit. So who was the director? Javier.
Me.
Okay, all right. Obviously, you were the actor. Tell him your name.
Gabriel Furman. I wrote and I played the dad.
Right, Dynamite. And you were obviously
Henny. Oh, I'm Delissa Reynolds, and I played Henny.
Henny. Okay.
And her husband was our DP, so we
Okay.
pulled a lot of favors.
Dynamite. And you guys are from?
New York,
Word.
New Jersey.
Jersey and New York,
Okay. All right. What part of Jersey are you from?
Passaic, Jersey.
Passaic. Okay. I'm from East Orange.
Oh, all right, that's what's up. Word.
Can we get a mic for is it Jalise? You said? Delissa.
Oh, thank you.
Can we get one for Delissa as well? Or Javier? All right. So let's unpack it just a little bit. So I'll be honest. I have a problem with profanity. Not a problem. No, let me get wrong. I have a problem because I curse all the time. I'm from New York. I'm from Jersey. That's how we talk. But particularly, I think when the little kids, the scene in the beginning, I thought they was going a little hard for me. I thought they was going a little hard. So explain, and the feedback is typically, well, they're kids. That's how they talk, right? And I'm like, you're going a little hard.
Yeah. You know, we spoke about the language, and I felt like it tells you something about the character of the people you're dealing with. You know what I mean? Like, we grow up, in, it's a tough environment, man, and you gotta have thick skin, and it's not really till later on in life, because what I find is the kids around my area, they're drawn to that language. You know, it makes them feel older, right?
It's in the music.
Yeah, and when we were shooting, like, if the parents were around, they were like, excuse me, yes. And then the moment the parents stepped out the room, whoa. You know, and it just, for me, it's an accurate representation of the environment. And I do believe that we should be more creative with our language.
Right.
But I had to paint a picture that was true to the streets and what a young man or girl that is facing these decisions has to face, because it informs them, and it can also like squash them from having the courage to make those kind of decisions, to be themselves.
Right, exactly. All right, now, so in the earlier project, the gentleman was talking about little nuggets. There was a little nugget that some people might not have caught. That's actually, should I say it, or do you guys want to say it? Okay, so you play the woman who's struggling with drugs.
Yes.
And you're actually the little boy's mom.
I am not his mother.
You're not his mom.
No,
Oh,
I'm
okay.
not.
Because I saw the photo in the house. Are you related?
Yes.
You have to wait for the series to get picked up.
She's crucial to where this story goes and this kid finding.
Okay.
themselves.
So this is a
proof of concept for the series.
Okay.
Come talk to us, anyone.
Yes.
But I do want to say this. You see her as a quote-unquote crackhead, but we're trying to break all the stereotypes of the streets, because she's actually the first one to accept Sammy.
Okay. I thought she was just struggling. That's all.
Yeah.
Yeah,
just struggling.
and I think that this is about people that do live on the fringe
Right.
and being judged
Marginalized.
by their diseases. And I
Right.
think that we need to recognize that addiction is a disease, and we have to face that and work together to get people on the other side of it. But beyond the disease, they are human beings underneath.
Right.
And they need to be recognized. And if I portray that, then I think that's my little contribution, or small contribution, maybe a big one, I'm not quite sure yet, but to give them voice in a way that's just not one note, or just a crackhead, or just anything. They're human beings.
Well, I think it's important to understand. I learned some of my most valuable life lessons from people that you might look past, or that we turn our heads, you know what I mean, because they're asking for your hand up. So I think it's important that as we're telling our stories and we're educating the masses on what we go through in these environments, that we don't forget the people that we want to overlook or look past.
Okay, dynamite. That's dynamite.
Also, we just wanted to congratulate all the
finalists, all the if you made a
Every
film, you're a
filmmaker
winner.
here.
That's right.
wonderful,
That shit is
wonderful
hard.
work.
Absolutely.
Beautiful.
Absolutely, absolutely. Okay, so now let's talk about the main topic, which is the little boy is going to be assumingly not transgender. He's just, what would you say he's going to be?
So the series is Sammy lives in question on where he, she, or they fit in the traditional gender system. Technically, the term would be transgender.
Transgender.
But we don't know where on the gender spectrum they fit yet, and it's questioning all those things.
Right, because he's not having sex yet. He's just
Right.
Sex
He's
has
in the beginning.
what
He's
we
in the very
learned is
beginning.
sex has nothing to do with gender.
Okay.
And that's part of the things that we're trying to accomplish with the series.
One of the goals is there's a lack of information, right? So when you're uninformed or uneducated on these matters, you tend to be a little bit ignorant, right? And ignorance, we already know where that takes us, right? And so we believe that like acceptance is protection, and part of like starting this conversation is educating our family members. There's a lot of people that I grew up with who are hood, street, right? But man, when they have the full information, they're super supportive, you know what I mean? And they can really have your back. So it's about educating, because a big part of it is going to be Frank's transition, right? His love for his son, his unconditional love for his son, is going to force him to challenge his conditioning, the way he was raised, you know what I mean? These deep-rooted beliefs that sometimes aren't even ours. They come from other people who decide who we should be, what we should look like, and how we should move. And so, you know, like we're gonna face a lot of things. If you watch this film again and you pause it, you'll see signs of what we face as a people in our environment, right? From the opening shot, if you pause it, that sign in the background, it says Queens, it says coming soon, luxury condos, and then it says contact gentrifiers.com.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
I noticed he mentioned that part. I noticed, and I was assuming it's Brooklyn. I don't know it's Brooklyn, but I did notice that the woman who opened the door to give the candy was white. And then I was like, okay, this is this is the changing of the guard, because I've been in Brooklyn during Halloween, and you know, typically though, you know, depending on the neighborhood, you don't know who might come to the door, honestly.
Yeah.
You know, but slowly and surely, more and more non-ethnic or more Caucasian folks are opening the door and saying trick or treat as well.
man,
So.
you go to Bed-Stuy now, and you like.
Right.
We went to Queensbridge, right? We were in the projects, and listen, no offense to anyone, but there was like white couples walking through the projects holding
Europeans
hands.
taking pictures just in front of Queensbridge
Yeah.
sign. I'm from Queens. I grew up in the hood in Queens, and like I felt gypped.
Because it's safe now.
It's safe now. I grew up across the street from crack houses, and now there's cafes.
I want it to be safe, but I want to be able to afford to live there. You know what I mean? I don't want to get pushed out.
Absolutely.
Right? And so it's a lot of stuff like that, like in the film. It's also there's systematic conditioning that happens to us all the time that we might not be aware of. Next time you're driving through your town, see how many times you see the word no. Right? No parking, no loitering, no this, no that.
Very interesting.
right? And it's a conditioning of the mentality of can't. And it gives us that mentality of lack, and it keeps us down, man. And we have to learn to say yes and adapt this I can mentality. So you'll see in my film, like, we use every piece of the frame to give you different layers of story. From how many times you'll see the word no, or if in that first shot you see that there's a red sign and there's a one way, because we believe there's only one way to do things. You know, so we're gonna unmask a lot of elements of the domestication that we're receiving through our environment that is keeping our kids down and is stopping them from being everything that they are possible and capable of being.
Okay. Absolutely, and to dovetail on that, you know, our kids are our future. They're gonna be taking care of us. And this just really broaches the first idea of the question and questioning ourselves. And if this young boy is met with openness and compassion and empathy, it's going to be a struggle, but it's going to be less of a struggle and less of a struggle and less of a struggle for him and other children to accept themselves as they are, which is the goal, right?
Absolutely. Now, I noticed Dad had I don't know, I mean, raising a child, raising a boy is not easy, right? They go through a gauntlet, essentially. And it's what you're talking about. He's going through a gauntlet because he's got his friends, and they're going hard all the time, and they see the guy, and I'm assuming that guy plays some kind of sport, because at some point...
Jamil is Diesel. Oh, what do you mean, Sammy?
No, the guy walking across the street.
Oh, yeah.
Jamil, he was beautiful. He's just a beautiful, loving, jacked up dude that looks like he could kill those kids.
Yes, he's majestic. Walking across the street,
Right.
he's majestic.
Yeah.
And so he's going through this kind of gauntlet, and he's wondering what's wrong with me, right? Because they're teasing him and everything. Yeah. Now, at the end, the little black boy, he comes back. So you guys go sweet, 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 sweet. You know, like you're doing this thing where you go hard, then you go sweet, then you go hard. And then at the end, he comes out with the F word, bang. And again, I'm like, oh, wow, what are we doing here? First, we was all sweet and cuddly, and you wrapped it up nice, and then we went back to hardcore, and I was just like...
I want to tell you what the best way I could describe why that's there is something I saw here yesterday.
Okay.
When I saw Brian on this stage, a man that's more intelligent than most people I've ever met in my life, walk into a Supreme Court and have a judge look at him and say, hey, what are you doing here? Oh, wow. He's a Supreme Court lawyer, but shit ain't sweet, and it's not done. The fight is not done.
There it is. There it is. There it is.
I think, I think that it's important to the film, because the first step is you get your allies, right? So his father is gonna have his back, and they're gonna take this journey. But life is unrelenting, man, and it's challenging, and you know, and that's why you need your father. That's why you need your mother. Why you need that support system. But also, just so you know, like Gabriel said it, we flipping everything on his head, man. As this goes on, Deshaun ends up being his strongest ally.
The kid at the end.
Right,
black kid, okay.
Right, through that kid, we understand what it is when you give someone information and you educate them on things they don't understand, because right now he's operating with the belief system of his peers and his parents, things that he hasn't questioned yet. And as we get to know him deeper, you watch him transition and become like, he's the athlete that's gonna be like, if you mess with him, you mess with me.
Okay, nice. That's very nice, because they grow up together.
Yeah.
And they're boys.
Right.
They are boys.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that was Avery's first role.
Yeah, that was Deshaun's
He
first
just came
role.
out of nowhere. Well, he's my neighbor.
Yep.
And
that kid is gonna.
Which one? Which one is this?
The one at the end?
young-
The black kid.
Yeah. They were looking for a 10 or 11-year-old, and I was like, ooh, my neighbor. And he just took it and ran. He is so beautiful.
Such an
really
amazing kid.
so grateful.
All right, so the destination for this is what, cable or streaming?
Yeah, we're looking to turn it into a series, and we're open to our options of whether it be an HBO, Netflix, Amazon, Hulu, Apple, or other.
Thank you, HBO.
Thank you, HBO, by the way, very much.
Okay. All right, give them a round of applause, guys.
Thank you.
That's Wonder. Javier Molina. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Hold on. Thank you to Floyd and to Stephanie for putting this festival together.
Yes, indeed, it's beautiful.
All right.